Good morning, and welcome to the George Brown Convention Center. I am Luther Villagomez, Chief Operating Officer here at Houston First Corporation. First, I'd like to thank all of you for being here this morning. As you know, we're here to announce a new festival for an industry that's experiencing incredible growth, the craft beer industry. Houston First and Food and Vine Time Productions are presenting a craft brew celebration known as Big Brew, October 24th through the 26th here at the George R. Brown. You probably know that Texas is the third fastest growing state for the number of small, independently owned craft breweries. Festivals such as Big Brew are the kind of events that bring people downtown and generate business for restaurants and other attractions. That's important to the GRB and Houston First, because part of our long-term strategy is for growth, to develop events to serve as economic generators. So the GRB is thrilled to be the location of the Big Brew this fall and to many years to come. Now it's my privilege to introduce the Mayor of Houston, the Honorable Annise Parker.
Thank you, Luther, and thanks all of you for being here and being part of this announcement. It's a good news, bad news situation because you're going to have to wait a really long time for what we're announcing today. But we absolutely believe it will be worth the wait and that it will be something that folks in Houston and this region and throughout the state enjoy for years to come. Houston has always been a place for entrepreneurs, people who have dreams and who have ideas and are willing to work to make those ideas into reality. It is increasingly on the national and the international map as a place for foodies, those who are interested in cutting-edge restaurants and the latest food trends, but also a place for those who appreciate great beers, craft beer, and a place with a growing entrepreneurial segment that is creating craft beer in Houston. Now, I understand that this is a huge industry and growing industry for the state of Texas. But it's one of those industries that a lot of individuals are personally invested in. There are a lot of folks who want to brew their own beers. There are a lot of folks who enjoy the experience of sampling different types of beers. And there are a lot of folks who believe in the future of this as an industry. And all those kinds of folks will be coming to attend our Big Brew for the City of Houston. I want to thank Food and Vine Time and the Houston First Corporation for coming together and making this happen. But more importantly, let's thank all of the craft brewers, the home brewers who are here in the Houston area, who created the base on which we can craft this wonderful event. If we're talking about an industry that today it contributes about $2.3 billion to the Houston economy, and really within the next 10 years, that number should double. This is about today, but it's also about the future. This is about what Houston has to offer today as a city with a great craft brewing tradition, but it's also about what may be possible in Houston in the future in growing an industry. We expect more than 10,000 people to come to Houston for Big Brew, and like all of the events we do here in Houston, we know how to host guests, we know how to show people a good time, and we know that everyone who comes to the Big Brew will enjoy themselves, and we hope go away inspired and more committed to the growth of this industry. So I'm happy to be here to be part of the announcement. And of course, there's not too many press conferences they go to that they give away samples of things. And I think that that may be one of the reasons that folks are here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to bring in Clifton McDerby, the producer for Big Brew, to say a few words.
First, thank you for being here. And Luther, you said a few words, and when I'm passionate about something, I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. So my job today is to give you a very brief capsule of where we see Big Brew going and what, a little bit what it's going to be like. And where we see it going, and Mayor, that was fabulous setup for me, because the craft brew industry is a passion. You don't get into it until you have a passion for it. Just like event production is a passion, you don't do it unless you have a passion for it. And we've kind of, as transplanted Texan to Houston, have grown to love Houston, and have always, as a company, my wife and I, Constance, have always said, Houston needs a culinary, lifestyle event that people will come to Houston to visit, to see. And that's what we see Big Brew as in the next few years, building it to where it is a destination event where people can come. Texas is a leading industry, leading state in the craft brewing industry. There's no reason, and it's well on the way, that Houston shouldn't be the capital of Texas's beer scene. And we think Big Brew will add to that. And just a brief summary of what we're doing on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You know that we've referenced the dates here at the Brown. We're going to do some stuff around the city to involve everybody early in the week, which we'll be announcing later. But we kick off at the Brown on Thursday night with the perfect match. And back to what the mayor said, we're going to tap, no pun intended, into the food scene here that's so hot nationally. And by doing that, we're going to, what we see and what we're going to do is we're going to have, for the perfect match, 40 breweries paired with 40 foods. But to take it a little bit further, instead of just having a food there that goes with the beer, we're going to have the chefs and the restaurants there to explain what they're doing and why it matches. So it's going to be 40 beers, 40 foods in a tasting called the perfect match. Then, of course, on Friday night, we are from Texas. We're proud of Houston. We're going to have an exclusive Texas event with 40 Texas breweries represented. Hopefully we'll have 100% involvement from the Houston brewery scene. We'll also have that night a pub crawl, which I have so eloquently forgotten the name of. Suds in the City. How could I forget that? Suds in the City, which will be run with buses touring around the city in various areas downtown with the pub crawl. And then on Saturday, we're hanging our hat on a really big event. Our grand tasting will be 2 sessions, and we're going to have 1,000 beers at each session. To the best of our knowledge, that'll put us as one of the top, definitely one of the top beer festivals of its kind in America coming out of the box. We're going to very much mold it to be education, to teach people about beer, the beer process, and the availability to sample all types and styles of beer, to introduce non-beer drinkers to beer, and of course to give the beer lover some good, unique opportunity to taste beer. Lisa Reedman of the Specs family, if she could come up here and help us present the mayor with the first Big Brew t-shirt.
Yeah, a little bit of applause for this thing would be really nice, I think. Again, I want to point out that, the Houston First Corporation, our Convention and Visitors Bureau, we have been looking to build conferences and conventions around the existing strengths of Houston. We compete aggressively for conferences and conventions that rotate around the United States, but we've also been looking at ways to capitalize on our homegrown talent. And there are a lot of places that the Big Brew could be. I don't think there are any better places that it could be, but there are a lot of places the Big Brew could be. But it's here in Houston because of the strength of our craft breweries as they exist today, because of the strong support of those who are interested in beer, in craft brewing, in personal brewing, and because of the support of our food industry, the restaurants. That perfect pairing is exactly what we're talking about, everything coming together. And since there are some samples available this morning, people were laughing when I came up. They said, "Oh, Mayor, you don't drink." It's not that I don't drink, it's that I don't drink when I'm working, and I'm always working. But I will make an exception today. So those of you who had the opportunity to get a sample, we want to do a toast for, and you want to tell me what I'm drinking? Do we know?
No.
No?
It's a Texas product.
It is a Texas product. All right. I was going to give a little plug, but I can't. Okay.
Be political.
Be political, I was told. Okay, so. It's a St. Arnold?
St. Arnold.
All right, tried and true. All right. I would ask you to raise your glasses. Today we are toasting new partnerships, new friendships, and big dreams. Today we celebrate an industry and a city on the rise. Here's to our city. Here's to great beer. Cheers to Big Brew, and thanks to all of you.
Cheers. Cheers.